So going in detail for cell wall is actually present in only in plant cell. Yes, you know this. So the cell wall is of course non-living. It is very rigid, and what is it composed of? It is composed of, yes, anyone remember? Just recall it. Yes, cellulose. It is composed of cellulose, which provides very definite shape to the plant cell. And why it is needed that a rigid cell wall is present? What is the benefit of that? You have studied in class 10th. They do not burst open when excess of water goes inside by endosmosis. Why they do not burst open? Because they have a cell wall, a rigid cell wall present. So it is of very great importance. Then the differentiated into, I have told you, the primary cell wall and the secondary cell wall. Of course, sometimes, most of the time, tertiary cell wall is also present, which is mostly joined with the secondary cell wall only. And then inner to the tertiary cell wall is the cell membrane or the plasma lemma or plasma membrane. I have already told you about the middle lamella. It is the interconnection junction between two cells. Okay, and this middle lamella is actually joining, is working as a cement, and the cells and these middle lamella is composed of pectin, calcium ions and magnesium salts, and can easily be dissolved by pectinase enzyme. So that is why when we need to study, now coming on to biotechnologically use, when we need to separate out the cell walls, we are using pectinase. Pectinase will dissolve the middle lamella and will separate out the cells, and when the cells are separate, they can be easily studied. Okay, so this is about cell wall. Moving forth, next is the cell membrane. Cell membrane is selectively permeable. Why it is called selectively permeable and not semi-permeable? This I have already discussed in class 10. For those who do not know, or for just a revision, I'll tell you, selection and semi word are different. Selection means semi means certain things will never be allowed to come inside the cell membrane. Okay, semi permeable means certain things are never allowed inside. They will only allow certain things to enter the cell. So is that the case with the cell membrane? No, because cell membrane, if we take the example of sodium ions for instance, so sometimes when sodium ion is required inside the cell, then the cell membrane will allow the sodium ions inside. But as soon as there is fulfillment of the sodium ions inside, enough amount of sodium ions present inside, then it will restrict the same sodium ion to get inside the cell wall, get inside the cell. So what is it doing actually? It is making its own selection. That is why cell membrane is called selectively permeable, not semi-permeable. So if you are using semi-permeable terms, stop using it, because cell membrane is a living entity. It has its own brains, you can say, and it can decide whether to allow a particular thing inside or to not to allow a particular thing inside. Okay, it decides whether if the thing will be required inside, then only it will be allowed, otherwise it will be rejected and will not be allowed to get inside the cell. So it is selectively permeable. One more thing about it, see the structure. This is the model of the cell membrane. Cell membrane has 40% proteins and 60% lipids. So it is called as composed of lipid bilayer. This is also called as lipid bilayer. Why? Because there are two layers of lipids and proteins embedded. You can see pink and blue things here, pink things embedded here, blue things embedded here. These are proteins. These are all proteins, extrinsic and intrinsic, I'll tell you. And these yellow ones are also, these floating ones are also which are visible here, they are also protein. This is a special model of cell membrane which we call it as fluid mosaic model. It was proposed by Singer and Nicholson in the year 1972, and according to this model, membranes, all types of membranes which are found are continuous and made up of lipids having polar ends towards outside and non-polar towards inside. So here see the diagram, I am pointing them out. The yellow portion is the polar head and the non-polar portion, the green one, are embedded inside. So these are the lipids, and the pink and blue ones, these are the proteins which are embedded. So lipid and proteins. Why it is called as fluid? Because what a fluid does, it keeps on moving. Similarly, the membrane is also considered to be semi-fluid structure, because the lipids as well as the proteins are able to make movement within the bilayer. Why bilayer? Because two layers of lipids are present. Okay, these bilayer, these proteins and lipids can actually move inside. This can only be possible if lipids and proteins are held in their position by non-covalent bonds, because covalent bonds are very tough. You have studied in chemistry about covalent bonds. Covalent bonds are very strong bonds. So they, if they will be of covalent bonds, they will be so strong that they cannot move. But here the lipid bilayer is joined together by non-covalent forces, so they are freely movable. Now coming on to a more detailed structure. See here, this is the view, phospholipid bilayer. This is the phospholipid bilayer. What happens here, there are two types of proteins present. One are extrinsic protein and other are intrinsic proteins, and this is the structure of the lipids. Lipids have a hydrophobic tail and a hydrophilic head. So two types of proteins, just see here in this diagram, two types of proteins which are present. One type of protein are intrinsics, which are embedded inside. You can see the pink one going inside. See in this diagram, these are going inside, but these blue one are only floating up. There will be many in this diagram, only one is shown, but all these blue are floating above. So X, they are outside, so they are extrinsic. They are embedded inside, so these are intrinsic. So extrinsic protein, the blue ones, are attached to the outer and inner surface of the bilayer. They are water soluble, so get easily dissolved and dissociated from the membrane. They are not so tightly bound because they are not embedded, they are just floating above the layer of the lipid. If we talk about the intrinsic protein, the pink one, which are embedded deep from one end of the layer to the other end, they are so strong that they are embedded. They are strong because they are embedded inside, so they cannot move much, and then they are insoluble also. So they provide a sort of rigidness. Okay, so what is the chief function of overall cell membrane or the plasma membrane, which we call? It will regulate the movement of various particles in and out of the cell. This is the major function: transportation, conduction from outside the cell to inside, from inside the cell to outside. Plus the second thing is it is selectively permeable, and the third thing is it has receptors for binding with hormones, drugs and neurotransmitters. It is very smart actually. Okay, so moving forward,